the goal personally why I do social media, it's because I feel like I'm helping a parent, a child, and a teacher out there. If you will do it expecting money, here is the bad news. It happens. See, it's not a guarantee.
Teachers, you make videos,
Yeah,
and in your videos you also appreciate teachers, and you talk about how teachers are forgotten.
Oh yeah.
So during the school time they're appreciated. Once you go on holiday they're forgotten. When you pick up, maybe we open school.
Yeah.
So why do you think this is so?
Yeah.
And what do you think we can do to instill back that appreciation?
Oh, okay. I think most of the time the society feels when you mwalimu ina kazi yako. And the fact that you're taking care of, like any other parent, when it's school time you are concerned. Nani ameshinda na mtoto wangu, si ni mwalimu. So I have to keep on calling, ukwaje, ako aje, ako sawa. And as I was saying, like tuko na kama mika baba. And most of the time unapatanga hapa ndio what let me just say tunakosania na wazazi, because you have like 30 kids in a class, but there is that one parent mwenye anataka you teach their child special. There's a certain position anataka mtoto akue. There's a certain way umfanye leader, like it's, but I'm like, that is students bwana, there's a way I'm supposed to treat them. And I feel like kitambo najua walimu, like ungesikia huku ni kwa mwalimu. I remember at home kwetu ulikuwa unajua teacher fulani anaishi pale, so mkipita hapo watoto walikuwa wanapita wakikimbia. Amwezi tembea hapo. There is that respect. I think ni juu, I think pia sisi education kuna venye, let me say it is iko na value, but kuna venye with time kuna venye sometimes ndakanga ni kama haina value, because you can't tell me someone who really performed in school they're still struggling. You're like, so it narrows down maybe to a teacher. And maybe there are those teachers maybe who have wameharibu jina ya teachers, maybe by corporal punishments, discouraging children, like maybe there is that person mwenye alifanyangwa kitu na mwalimu and they were like, I hate teachers, and though there are those parents wenye huwa wana appreciate walimu, but you find mkienda holiday juu pia sisi, I can just say even as we teachers, ikifika ni time ya holiday, masimu mingi za wazazi, you're like, na unataka kuniambia nini tena, si tulifunga shule. They are such.
Wow, interesting. So did you have any bad experience with teachers yourself as a student?
Yeah, I can say yes I did. Yes I did. Joy, I can say personally I can say I had an issue with my English teacher.
English? Wow. Most English teachers are so chill.
I know. So I had, and I developed Joy, I was always in trouble.
With this teacher?
With this teacher. I was always in trouble, because I remember there's this one time sikumaliza homework. And there's some years back when I went back to teach in my primary, tulipatana na yeye hapo. Na hajaisahau. I remember nilifikanga shule mapema. Sinajua ni ABCD. So nikafanya guesswork. Nikashikwa. And she was like, endea mamako. And you know it's Kikuyu. Endea mamako. Ukuje na useme kwa nini unafanya guesswork asubuhi. Why are you doing guesswork? Unasikia si unakumbuka nikikwambia kazi yetu tulikuwa tunafanya home, so there's a lot of work, we didn't manage to do homework. Amekuja amefail, so I'm just doing guesswork. Kuja tu a mark tumalizane. So mimi nikashikwa. It was an issue. And recalling 2 weeks before that incident, nilikuwa nimefukuzwa juu we had cases, a boyfriend, girlfriend.
As always.
And my mom alikuwa bado ameitwa. So this is the second time. So I went home. It was early in the morning. Tulikuwa tunafika shule by 6:30. So 6:30 umefika, so you have to go back home. Ukuje na mom. My mom akasikia ameitwa tena, kaniambia wewe msichana unataka kuharibika. Ananiambia twende nipate shule. Nilienda, my mom alinitandika nikiwa kwa ofisi ya head teacher. And it was so humiliating because I was vocal. And this time every teacher mwenye anakuja class ako zile za umemaliza kazi yako ama nikuitie mamako. You know, yote akikuja anakwambia kazi yako ni kumea matiti lakini kazi ni homework. Nitakuitia mamako. And you know, it sounds funny because the rest are laughing. But to you, it's not funny. You know, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
But then again, I think the way it was handled, me feel like there was a better way to handle it. Because I remember even after that, there is a way. Hadi today, mi usemadi wa leo, mi struggle na English. Of which watu wanafindingi, like it's easy. Like sometimes even when I'm talking, you'll find maybe na struggle na tenses hapa kule, you know. Because mi najamia labda saa zenye nilikuwa nafunza sikuwa nasikiza. Like my mind was I tried even in high school to make the English teacher my friend. Wapi? Ilinilemea. So I can say that was something, that was a cadet kale kangwa. Can you jaribu?
Sorry for that experience.
It's okay.
So do you feel as though teachers now in this era have changed? Because that time, that was the story. There was always a teacher picking on students, picking on a specific student. It was how 844 was. It's something a lot of us have experienced, unfortunately. Even caning, corporal punishment. You had students who have died.
Yeah.
So do you feel like teachers are also changing? It's becoming they're changing how they interact with students, how they inspire students to pass. Because a lot of teachers actually would say, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I just wanted to make you pass.
Yeah.
A lot would justify their actions that way.
Yeah.
So do you feel like a lot of teachers have changed? It's just you and a few of you guys? Is it just something with Gen Z teachers, or is there a change?
I think there is let me just say in quotes. I don't know. Let me just say there's a revolution of how things are happening. And another thing in the education sector, we have young teachers, and you'll find we have young teachers, we have young parents. You know, our time tulikuwa tunafunzwa na watu old. I don't know why. Ama ni tulikuwa wadogo tulikuwa tunaona wakiwa old.
No, I think legit we're being taught by old.
Si ndio? So you find like huyu ni msee anakuelewa. Plus we have our own traumas we don't want to pass. I believe any teacher mwenye anafanya hiyo kazi akijitolea, I've seen teachers wenye wanajitolea kufanya kazi. They're teachers that I admire the way they do their job. We also have teachers wenye bado they're still the same. They still exist, and the way they handle children.
So have you had that clash? Maybe there's a way you're handling your class and all that shit, like, no, if it was me, this is not what I would have done. Like, do you have those clashes? Or just in the staff room, maybe you have ideologies clashing with older teachers and management. Is that an issue, or have people been inspired by the change?
The change of most of the time with my colleagues, for me, most of the time, I don't like interfering by the way someone does their things. This is what you feel like works for you, that's okay. But there are times I normally feel, there's a teacher I remember, they scolded a child and I was like, I think there's a way ungeacha kama umefeel unajua saa zingine mtoto anaweza kukasirisha by the way you're like unanibeba hivi. I'm not a child like you, just tell me the truth. But sasa venye aliambia nicho mtoto nikamwambia I think ungengoja hata hasira zishuke and then you'll call that child and then muongeleshe tu. I know they are naughty, but talk to them. They might not change today, but one day they will remember maybe your words. Sometimes changes do not happen instant, but sometimes your word will echo in their minds later on in life. So nikamwambia, kaniambia pana mimi sitakangi ujinga ya watoto, hata mzazi wake amenisumbua juzi. And I'm like, maybe hasira za mzazi ndio unataka kuangusha mtoto and mtoto hata akua huko, you know. But most of the time the way teachers do it, if this is how you feel works for you, then go for it, because I can't influence you to do the way I do my things. And you'll never be Priscilla, I'll never be you.
Okay, so in the relationship between parents and teachers, most of the time the way we were brought up, parents would let teachers do their thing. You're being caned. In fact, they will add. You're being caned in the first place. So have you found that relationship to have changed now? Are parents more engaged with their students, with their children? Are they more supportive, encouraging? How do they relate with you teachers? How is that relationship? And explain to us the relationship between parents and teachers. I feel like people don't understand there has to be a relationship there for the students to do well, for that there has to be an understanding, a cooperation between the teacher and the student.
Rule number one, what we are normally told before you go to this is not in the syllabus, teachers, but kitu moja unaambiangwa ni always know that the enemy of a teacher is the government, the parents, and your colleague.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever you're doing your thing, those are your enemies. The fact that hapo kuna parent, number one, the parent can be your enemy or either your friend. It all depends the way you're treating their child. You will find venye nilikuwa nimekwambia, like if you're not treating their child in a special way, you might find amskizani. But most of the time for me, I stand my ground. I'm like, if you want me to teach your child special than others, then your child is in the wrong class. Because I'll make sure all of them are treated the same. Like, hakuna ati wako special kuliko huyu mwingine. You know. Alafu another thing, like another thing maybe when umetisha requirements. Most of the time parents don't like kuna wenye they don't like and they feel like unataka kuitisha ni zako. Si yangu ni ya mtoto wako. You see like anasemanga tisha ameitisha. Mimi sitaki kutumia ni ya mtoto na ndio maana nimeitisha. There are those parents who are appreciative. And you find that those parents when you're zile are like akikosea let me know. Usimguze but let me know. Do they know how they'll discipline the child? So it goes both ways. There are those when you're feeling muna work pamoja, but there are those who do not cooperate at all. And maybe when ukiwaambia mtoto anafanya hivi na hivi na they're like my child cannot do that. Hata nyumbani behaving hivyo. I'm like, I'm with your child from 8 to 4. Ukifika ashalala. I know your child. And I cannot siwezi ekelea mtoto amefanya na hajafanya.
Wow. Have you had a couple of meetings with parents who like your child here is doing something wrong, you need to know, like have you had to tell them like what you're saying now? I spend so much time with your child, I'm telling you the truth, like you have to change something, implement this. Like, have you had to have such sit downs?
So alafu I've had such and it's also a challenge for a teacher when you are having mtoto ametoka from a broken family. There is baby daddy, baby mommy, hii weekend ako kwa mom, so kila mtu they are working very hard to look good kwa mtoto. Ndio mtoto anipende sana kukuliko, and then you're there, you're neutral, you're like ukifanya kitu mzuri ni maybe when you call her. There's a time I called the parent nikamwambia mtoto alipatikana mahali kwa field and they were not doing good things and I was not happy. And that one thing ipeleka kwa ofisi. I had to tell you directly, deal with your child. Muongeleshe, just know maybe the people that they are working with ama vitu kama hizo. And the parents were like, no. Hizo tabia ametoa shule. Hizo hata nyumbani hakuna. Nikamwambia, I'm the one with your child. And I can't siwezi simama nikwambie vitu kama hizi. Even for a child. Tukauliza mtoto ulifanya? Ulikuwa na nani? So and so. I'm like, there you go. Just know how you'll deal with it. And then you leave it at that.
How do you deal with maybe bullying? A child is bullying another. How do you deal with those children you're talking about who come from broken families? And in all this, how do you support yourself mentally to be able to support these children as well?
So number one, for the bullies, we normally have a naughty corner. You know, for me, I deal with the small. So we normally have a naughty corner. Maybe sometimes you can write on the blackboard the good and the bad. But because most of the time we encourage positivity. So you normally, ukiona amefanya kitu mzuri ama ametreat watu vizuri, you make sure you amplify it. You know what? So and so said please when he came here. He's starting to become a good boy. So and so said sorry. That is so good. So even another child who was planning not to say sorry, they will say sorry so that you can say, so that you can praise them. Another thing is you normally use things like rewards, not sweets, but things like stickers, even. For children who come from broken families, you tend to understand them because most of the time you find them, they are clingy, they're so emotional. They cry, akifanyiwa kitu, anaonewa tu, but you tend to, unawaelewa tu, and then you give them that love. Like you make sure that they are comfortable and you do not expose them to other children. You don't tell them things because the fact that they come from a broken family, unashinda ukimwambia. And how do I support myself? I can say the fact that I go to church and everything, there's a way, there are those programs. The church, maybe you make sure that you're okay, listening to easy like materials zenye ziko na positivity, and even I think also even loving yourself and avoiding toxicity and negativity for you to be able to deal with these children. Because these children cannot take from an empty cup. You have to, even for that love, you have to love yourself enough for you to be able to give out to them.
Good. All right.
Okay, so when it comes to showcasing, like showing their faces, who they are, the way they are, at their age, I don't think they are ready for social media. Because like social media venye tu iko watatokea, and then people will say their things. One thing, internet never forgets. What if they get to that age where they can access maybe their phones and they can reason out, and they'll be like, why is it that such a person would say this about me? That is number one. Number two, I think it's sweeter for you to have that imagination of how these kids are. Like you try to imagine mtoto ako grade 3, so unajaribu kuimagine wanakaa aje, wako aje, because I don't show them. So that's a plus for the social media. It's a plus because I'm giving you room to imagine. So if I don't show you the kids, you just imagine. A class setup.
What advice would you give to teachers who are interested in using social media to share their experiences or connect with their students?
If you want to use social media, advice number one, you'll never beat teacher Priscilla. You'll never beat teacher Cillah. And what I mean is, if you want to do your own thing, find a way of doing it in a unique way. Let us spread the positivity about education. And the worst thing that you'll do is trying to be teacher Cillah and turning yourself within a day. Things do not happen within a day. There is waiting, there is that persistence. And another thing, don't do it for social media. Have a goal. Like when you're doing it, you're not doing it to impress people, to show people that you're also a teacher. Apana. If that's your goal, then you're missing the point. I think the goal, personally, why I do social media, it's because I feel like I'm helping a parent, a child, and a teacher out there. Even you as a teacher, if you want to venture into social media, be ready for criticism. Also, make sure you know the guidelines, because children are also sensitive beings to deal with. So make sure that you are cautious. And if you're willing, you want to venture into education through social media, I wish you all the best. It's a good place to be. And personally, I enjoy it. But make sure that you're doing it with the right motives. And also another thing, if you will do it expecting money, here is the bad news. It happens. See, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. So just do it. Impact someone. Kama ni pesa, itakuja later on. It doesn't happen within. Also be patient. Yes.
All right. So do you see yourself expanding your content, which you already did beyond TikTok? You went to Instagram, you mentioned. Such as starting a YouTube channel or writing a book?
Well, really? What I can say, Cillah is going big, and I believe that. It's something that I believe. I've not, for now, I have I have I have a YouTube channel of which sijakuwa active. Hoping this year I'll be active. A book is coming. A book is coming and a podcast is cooking.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So hizo mbili zina cook. So Cillah is going big. Education in Kenya is going big. And I believe it is going big. Yes.
All right. What message do you hope to leave with your audience about teachers and education?
For a teacher to be able to teach the way they teach, there is that motivation that they need. And if you make like unataka ile criticize walimu, for me I would like to urge everyone, just be positive about teachers. Be positive about teachers, encourage them. These teachers will come, have that face, a happy face to their children, and they also have matters that personal matters they're dealing with. So take teachers slow, take them slow, washughulikieni. Also, let us embrace the new education system. With time, tutakuwa na mwelekeo mahali inaelekea.
All right. So what do you envision for the future of education, and how do you see your platform contributing to that vision?
First of all, I'm envisioning the education system, it will turn digital. Juzi, I was somewhere and I experienced smart boards, and for me it's everywhere. These things, we see them on TV. We see them, teachers writing, there's a song in the background, and I believe that our education will go big. And I believe through Teacher Cillah, I believe some years to come, like sometimes there's someone who said, why is it that kuniambia hakuna mtu wa education mwenye amekuona mahali na haoni venye unaweza saidia, But I normally say, through me, I believe whatever I envision, kama ni your digital, we have things in a digital way. Hakuna chalks, nini, kama ni kwa vitabu, we are using tabs, all of us. They submit work from their tabs, but kitu saki isha ni physical. The physical, the one-on-one. But I believe through digital, nini, you're transforming from analog to that digital, education will go big, and there's a lot to learn. Na kosa waste time, and manage time kabisa.
Give a message for your favorite teacher, the teacher who impacted you. You talked about him in class 8, he changed your trajectory. Please leave a message for him.
Mr. Njoroge, wherever you are, I want you to know that you changed a life. I want you to know that Priscilla is the way she is because of you. Thank you for the affirmation that you gave me. Mr. Njoroge, thank you for the kind words that you always told us. Thank you, Mr. Njoroge, for always ensuring that you told me that I'm enough. Thank you for making sure that my self-esteem was up there. Mr. Njoroge, I couldn't be Teacher Cillah that I am today were it not for you. Mr. Njoroge, you gave us unconditional love. Mr. Njoroge, you are not only a teacher, but you are also a father. You were a father figure to us. Because I remember, even the person who was not performing in our class, you couldn't lack any positive thing to talk about them. Mr. Njoroge, just know, even up to today, even if we don't have that physical contact, just know that I love you so much. And I will never forget you. And I will talk about you because you made a teacher. And I believe the seed that you planted within me, it's the seed. I'm getting emotional.
It's okay.
I'm getting emotional. I don't know. When I talk about Mr. Njoroge, he really changed my way of thinking and doing things. And I think... Mr. Njoroge, thank you so much. And I pray that God's blessings will always follow you, because I'm reaping the fruits of the seed that you planted. And I believe it's not only me, but also to my classmates. I don't know about them, but personally, as Priscilla, most people thought teaching it's not a good career, you cannot prosper, but it has taken me to heights. It has made me step in places that I never thought I would step in. Whenever I talk about Mr. Njoroge, I always feel emotional. Mr. Njoroge, ubarikiwe sana na nakupenda sana.